Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Discovering Lost Ark. Today we're going to talk about endgame and the things that you can do at endgame. I'm going to tell you how it feels, I'm going to tell you my impressions and some facts about the endgame in this MMORPG, and obviously you're going to decide if it's something that you should be excited for or if it's something that you really don't like, right? So level 50 is the end game, guys, and once you hit level 50 you have the option to do a variety of things. Actually, to be honest with you guys, there is too many things to be done at end game in Lost Ark, a little bit too many things, and because of that the game might actually feel like an MMORPG. Please forgive this game because it actually feels pretty grindy, right? So if you are a mega casual player, you are going to feel in Lost Ark that you are kind of left behind in terms of gear. Obviously Lost Ark gives you a gear grind, obviously Lost Ark gives you a item level grind. It's not insane, it's nice, it's rewarding if you play not on a, you don't have to play on a daily basis, but if you play at least 2-3 days a week because you really like the game, because it's your MMORPG, then you're gonna feel great. There's hard mode dungeons. There is a daily dungeon with instabilities just like in Guild Wars, in Fractals, and there is raiding in terms of PvE. There is PvP, ranked and unranked. There is a lot of sea content. There is crafting and gathering to make money and stuff like that. And yeah, that's about it. I guess these are the main, 4, 5, 6 categories that you can do in terms of Lost Ark. Obviously, you can roleplay, you can chat and all the other things, but I guess we're not going to be talking about them in this video, yeah? So let's get the PvP out of the way really fast. If you want to know more about the PvP system, how it works, I have a great video on the PvP system in Lost Ark. I'm going to link it down below in the description of this video. PvP is ranked and unranked. The ranked version is seasonal. You can do it sometimes. You can queue up only solo. PvP in Lost Ark is only 6-man format, as in there is 3 versus 3 at the same time in the arena. That's one mode. The second mode is 1v1, v1, v1, v1 in 1v1 duels. The last man standing, that team wins. And another mode, the third one, is a brawl of 6 players all in their same team, all in the same time in the arena. They all kill themselves, they all kill each other, and whoever has the most kills wins. That's a little bit BSy. However, it is a mode that you can just play through to have fun or whatever. So, in the unranked version, for all modes, you can queue up with your party, of course, except the six-man brawl. That's a little bit kappa to queue up with the party. However, in the ranked version, you can only queue up solo. So, PvP is something that you can do at end game in Lost Ark. You can just play the game to be a PvPer. You can just stay in towns, queue up for PvP, jump around like people do in Guild Wars in the heart of the mists, and then they just wait for the queue to pop. They do a PvP batch, 5, 6, 7 minutes tops, and then they get out. That's it, queue up again and continue. Obviously PvP rewards you with tokens to get gear, rewards you with upgrading mats and so on and so forth. So if you only do PvP, you get the same things as other people are getting, of course slower than a guy that does PvP plus daily quests plus weekly quests plus raiding plus dungeon. So obviously the more time you play Lost Ark, the more things you're gonna get and the faster you're gonna get them compared to other people. However, in Lost Ark, in PvP, gear doesn't really matter. It does matter a little bit, but not a lot like in Aeon, and not zero like in Guild Wars 2. It matters. On top of your PvP daily, you can just throw in one of those 5-minute dungeons so you can get some better accessories, and there you go. You get armor from doing PvP, and weapon, you get accessories from some 5-minute dungeons, and that's how you get your gear for PvP, and you're done, and you continue doing PvP until you quit the game. And that is one thing that you can do. A very nice system. Of course, there's class imbalance as in every other MMORPG that's just released. They are fixing that as we go. By the time we get it in Europe and North America, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a pretty solid patch at that time when we get it, yeah? Cool. PvP out of the way, guys. That's one thing. It's a huge thing. As I said, full PvP definitely possible in Lost Ark. It's fair, there's no pots, there's no foods, there's no BS, and it's really cool to do, yeah? PvE, guys, that's a larger section than the PvPs because it has a lot more things that you can do. So there's 3 entries plus 1 with an item per day for the hard mode dungeons, yeah? There is 1 entry per day for another hard mode dungeon, which is dungeons from the past rehashed, and everyone's equalized at a level 50, and you just go in there and you do it. No gear there, only upgrading mats. So that's another thing. It's a daily dungeon, and inside that dungeon, the one that you can do a day, is the instabilities that I found in Guild Wars. It was pretty funny for me to see that there is all sorts of random instabilities in that dungeon that make your life harder and funnier, just like it was in the fractals in Guild Wars. So pretty fun thing to do. The 3 hard mode versions of the dungeons are very easy. You can do them with anyone. You can queue up for them. You can queue up for all of these dungeons. You can queue up for everything in Lost Ark, from raids to dungeons to PvP. So let's just get that out of the way. Yeah, the queuing system. Or you can do them with a party. You can just enter, make a party and enter. Cool. On top of these 3 + 1 and PvP, there is also another 3 things that you can do of your choice. There is a, how can I call it? There is like a table that you click the table, and then you have a variety of different content to choose from. You get 3 tokens to enter any of this content per day, so you have to choose wisely. If you need money, in-game money, then you might want to do the cube dungeon. If you are leveling up your crafting, or you need crafting mats, you might want to do the specific crafting dungeon that you have for your profession. And there's also other things to choose, like for example the tower, which is a solo thing. It has 50 stages. It's just like the Tower of Challenge in Aeon. You enter alone and you're solo, and you just finish 50 stages of whatever the game offers you, whatever the game tells you to do, with some pretty nice rewards. Yeah, so these 3 tokens a day, you can spend them as you wish on the content of your preference from this board. You can do 3 runs of the cube dungeon, or you can do 2 cubes and 1 crafting. However your character needs to grow, however you feel like it, if you even feel like it. Yeah, cool. Another thing is raiding. Raiding is the last step, let's say the hardest thing that you can do in Lost Ark. And raiding in Lost Ark is like a monster hunter style of raiding. You can break body parts. There is a boss inside a small map with almost no mobs at all, and you go in there and you kill the boss. You get what do you get? You get occasionally gear, and most of the times, guaranteed actually, you get mats that are useful for you to craft your raiding set of gear. And sometimes, if you're really lucky, you can also get accessories as a drop. You can never get armor or weapons as a drop. However, there are accessories that can be gotten if you're really lucky. Now, raiding, unlike everything else, of course, besides PvP, has unlimited cooldowns. PvP also is unlimited. There is no cooldown on any arena. You can just queue up non-stop. Raiding also, you can enter raiding non-stop. However, you can only choose to get 3 times a day the extra loot that really helps. So you have 3 extra loots a day, and then the other times you enter the raid, you're gonna get some loot from the corpse of the boss, very little, but you're never gonna have the chance to get, for example, accessories that can drop from the extra loot version of the raid, and you're not gonna get a lot of mats, because that's what raiding drops. It drops you mats to craft your raiding set. There is no weapons, there is no armor as a drop in raiding, only some accessories if you're really lucky, and only from the extra loot. However, the mats are super important, and if you get the extra loot, then there's plenty of mats that come from the extra loot, so you can craft your gear. It's really easy. You don't have to have any crafting level. You just speak to an NPC, you give him the mats, and he crafts it for you. It's just that's how it works. Yeah, cool. So what I'm trying to say here is that it opens up a lot of possibilities, right? So let's talk a little bit about this. If you can enter raids unlimited number of times and they only last 20 minutes tops, by the way, only 3 deaths you are allowed to have as a party inside the raid. So if your friend dies twice and then another spurg dies 1 time, the person who dies the 4th time is going to end the raid for all of you, and that's it. You're done. You can get out and go again. You don't waste the cooldown. You don't waste the extra loot kind of version of the raid. If you failed, you can enter again with the extra loot enabled. As long as you don't get the extra loot, you don't waste it. So that's a great thing. Actually, basically all of this content in Lost Ark PvE and PvP is so nicely made. Such fresh and nice ideas behind it. There's some grindy parts to it. Sometimes it can feel too grindy, we're gonna get there, but there is also some great ideas behind the whole thing. Yeah, the whole monster hunter, the whole 3 deaths, the whole 20-minute timer on any raid, right? So if you're not fast enough, if you're not geared enough, then you're not gonna make it in 20 minutes, right? So you do your 3 daily extra loots with your pre-made, and then you have guildies or you have friends that are very much lower item level or just lower item level than you. Obviously you can go there and help them. in their raid. You can enter their raid without losing anything from your raid. You can do their raid first and deselect the option to get extra loot from there, so you don't waste it on things you already got or things that you don't need. And then you can do your raid with the option ticked, and then you just get extra loot if you finish your raid. A fantastic system, a system in which you can play with your friends. Even if they are lower level than you can help them get better, and this is what basically the biggest part of the end game content in Lost Ark besides PvP offers to you, this raiding. Yeah, so you can enter with many different friends. If you have 20 friends, then you can enter with 4 groups in their own specific raid. Just help them carry them around and stuff like that. You can sell raids. This is also very important. If you can enter raids even if you don't have the required item level, if you recruit on LFG. However, the person that doesn't have the required item level is going to take 50% more damage, and that's brutal. And then he or she is also going to do 50% less damage, which is also very brutal. However, if your group is so strong that you can finish these raids in a 3-man format and take a buyer as a 4th, you can just tell him, hey man, you just wasted death, you die, or you just stay at the beginning of the raid and then we finish it, and then you come for the loot, you pay us in in-game currency in gold, and that's how it is. So a very nice possibility for the people that like to sell these kinds of things, for the people that like to challenge themselves and do 3-man tactics instead of 4-man and take a 4th to sell it to him for achievements, for loot, for gear, for whatever that person might want and need. Yeah. Other things that are available to do at endgame in Lost Ark are everything that's related to sea and ships and sailing and exploring the water. Basically, you can do a lot of things on the water. You can basically live on the water if that's your cup of tea. If you just want to be Captain Saivo and just sail all day long on your ship, you can just basically live off that. You can get gear off that, you can get mats to enchant off that, you can get money off that, and so on and so forth, right? The water things have a different currency. They deal in pirate coins, so there's pirate coins there as well. However, you don't need pirate coins if you're just into raiding. You don't need pirate coins if you're just into PvPing. So the water thing and the island thing is a whole huge part of the game. Ships can be upgraded, and that also is very grindy to do. If you upgrade them, they go faster, they have higher durability, because as you go on the water, the ship has a durability and it goes lower. There is dangerous waters that you can go around the world, some more dangerous than others. The rewards, the treasures, the scuba diving, the fishing that you do in dangerous waters is a lot more rewarding. There is ghost ships, there is shipwrecks that you can just enter and just get some nice goodies there if you find a shipwreck. So there is a lot of sailors that your boats can equip, and the better the sailor, the better the grade, the better the things he does, the more loot you get, and the faster your life is on the sea. So there's a lot of things that you can explore. Islands are a whole different story, and on islands there's various islands. You can get the island hearts, and with island hearts you exchange them at a merchant for gear, for goodies, for stuff that helps you more on the sea if you're into that. Different islands all around the world. There's chicken islands, there is crazy sex party islands, there is rave dancing club music islands, there is pirate islands, I don't know, robot islands, all sorts of different themed islands that you can explore and do quests on, and so on and so forth. A very nice system. It is something completely extra in the game, something completely new from my perspective on MMORPGs. I've never played an MMORPG that has such an in-depth water content and water things to do with your ships and islands and water. So it's a really nice thing. I personally enjoy it a lot. I find it extremely relaxing. I'm not taking it that seriously, but I find it very relaxing to go there and to spend your energy, because there's energy that you can spend, you know, to when you dive for treasures, you spend some energy. As you go, as you loot, you spend energy, and so on and so forth. So it's another system. I'm gonna talk in depth about the water system and ships and boats in another Discovering Lost Ark video, but that's another thing that that you can have available at endgame, and it is a very rewarding one at that. The last thing I want to mention in terms of endgame activities are dailies and weeklies, right? Lost Ark has plenty of these, and they are very, very important in order for you to progress, to go further. Most of the daily quests are available to you as you finish your campaigns, and when you're done with all of your story, then you have all of the dailies available, and then you can choose to do this daily or that daily, whatever kind of reward you want from it. Some dailies give you this reward, some dailies give you that reward. Depends on what you're interested in getting, depends on what is your goal in the game. So there's 3 dailies a day plus 1 with an item from the cash shop, so you can do 4. You can do them yourself, or you can use another cash shop item that instantly completes the daily and gives you the reward. However, you do have to have finished it once yourself, the daily, before you can use the cash shop item to instantly complete it. Yeah, some dailies are important to do because they give you hearts of the island on some islands. Some dailies are just very nice because of the rewards. Some dailies unlock the chance for you to get some mount, and so on and so forth. So they are very important because they give you upgrading gear material, that mat that is common for all the gear. So they're really good to do and kind of mandatory. They reset every day, and that might feel like a chore for some people. Obviously for me, I've only been playing like grindy MMORPGs for all of my life. I haven't been playing many, maybe just 2 or 3. But anyway, just saying, for me, I don't feel overwhelmed in Lost Ark. I understood the game and I minimized it in my head, and I focused on, and I am going to focus when it's going to be released, on the things that I like the most to do and the things that give me the most fun. That is the most important part, right? I don't care that my friend is 5 item levels higher than me. I really don't care, right? If I want to do this week PvP, I'm just going to do this week PvP, and that's about it. I just simply don't mind. However, the amount of things that you can do at endgame in Lost Ark might be scary for some people, might bring some people's moral down, people that come from more casual, laid-back MMORPGs. However, most MMORPGs out there do have dailies, do have weeklies at least. Weeklies, another thing that are very important to do, but they're weeklies, so everyone agrees with weeklies, but some people, they just don't agree with daily things. If you think about it, we do daily things in an MMORPG anyway, whether they ask us to do it or not ask us to do it. And that's everything I wanted to say about the endgame content in Lost Ark, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, guys, and tell me in the comments below, is there anything in the content of endgame content of Lost Ark that is appealing to you? Is there anything that you don't like, that you think is maybe a little bit too few or a little bit too much? Very interested to see what you guys are saying always, yeah? Until my next video, I wish you guys lots of love, and I'm gonna see you really soon.